Yeah, is this recording? Check, check, check. Just doing a little live, random, just having a few drinks, so thought I'd go live again. What's going on? Shout out to Bruce Lee. Yeah. What are you lot up to? You should try some new wine. Yeah. Like I say, I've got some Conor McGregor proper 12 whiskey that some woman I used to call her reject. She bought me some of that. I'm not gonna call her a reject anymore. That's about £20 a bottle. So, you know, calling somebody a reject, you know, buys you stuff like that, it's a bit disrespectful, isn't it? Are you gonna do James English's podcast? If you ask me, yeah, I don't beg people. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna, like I say, I don't try it on with women. I've never ever chatted up a woman, ever. Every woman I've fucked. And I try to work out how many women I've actually banged, and it's up there. But I've never chatted up any of them. So that James English, I'm not going to ask him to get on his channel. It's a bit desperate, isn't it? It's a bit pathetic. What? Yeah, you know this video here, this live, I've called it Will Floyd Mayweather Paralyze Logan? Shit. Will Mayweather paralyze Logan Paul? It's going a bit too far, innit? Paralyze. Clickbait, innit? It's trying to appeal to Logan Paul's fan base, you know, and that fucking Jake Paul's fan base. Because, you know, if they like stumble upon this video, you know, on their YouTube suggestions, they might click on it, and they've got a big fan base, haven't they, those fucking Paul brothers. So it's worth like trying to clickbait my way through, you know, and try and appeal to those fucking Logan Paul fan base. You should have called it Will Mayweather Blind Logan Paul. That's what I mean. Those titles, they get views, don't they? Pussy and views, and that's what it's about. I have a go at Coogan, yeah, for saying, oh, he's just about pussy and views and clickbait and brutally honest titles, but money's money, innit? Pussy's pussy, innit? So I don't blame him, you know what I mean? He's fucking all these women, he's trying to act like a family man, he's getting all these women pregnant behind each other's backs. But you're doing well, man. Will Mayweather put Logan Paul in a wheelchair? Brain damage, yes. I don't know where the line is. I don't know where the fucking line is, man. But I think my title was okay. Will Floyd Mayweather paralyze Logan Paul? I fucking pray that Logan Paul's big fan base tune in and say, what? What the fuck is this video about? Let me watch this and see what's going on. I don't want my fucking idol Logan Paul to get paralyzed. What's going on? It's just clickbait, innit? Brutally honest. When has Coogan ever been brutally honest? He's fucking sitting on the fence. He's scared to talk. He interviewed that Scott Fitzgerald, didn't it, before his fight, and people were slagging off Coogan, you know, saying, oh, you shouldn't have been asking him about his mental health issues and his criminal past. You know, it was insensitive, you know, to ask him about that on camera, but it's interesting, isn't it? Like I said before, imagine if Scott Fitzgerald was like open and he said, yeah, when I beat Fowler and Ted Cheeseman, I became a bit of a celebrity in Preston, where I'm from, and all these women wanted to fuck me, so I was fucking loads of women, and we were taking drugs, snorting cocaine, and it sent me a bit fucking mental, sent me a bit mentally deranged. So I started going out attacking people and drink driving and all that. That's interesting, isn't it? Come on, man. You know, that's more interesting than hearing him talking about his training camp and how he wants to thank his sponsors and all that. No one gives a fuck about that. So I think Coogan did the right thing, you know, asking him about it. We want to know, don't we? We want to know. Coogan's not a counsellor, he's not a therapist. He's a guy who tries to get interesting responses from people. So he did well, man. He didn't go far enough though, Coogan. You know, with Scott Fitzgerald. Mayweather is regrowing his prison afro, getting ready to smack up another bitch. Yeah, good point. Mayweather, he smacked up his baby mama, or grabbed her and like started shaking her. And he got locked up, because that's assault, you know. That is assault. Even if you just shake somebody like that, it's assault. So Mayweather did that to his baby mama, and he got locked up then, and came out of prison with a big afro. You know what I mean? So yeah. Men shouldn't hit women. What do you think of that? I don't agree with that, you know. I know it sounds a bit fucked up, but I don't agree with that. Like, some people will say, oh, men shouldn't hit women because men are taller than women and heavier than women, and men are physically stronger than women. So they've got that physical advantage. So men shouldn't hit women because they've got the physical advantage, they're stronger. But that's like me going up to Anthony Joshua and like hitting him, and then saying to him, you can't hit me back because you're taller than me, and you're heavier than me, and you're stronger than me, and you're a world champion boxer. So even though I've hit you unjustly, you shouldn't hit me back. It's fucking stupid, isn't it? It's fucking dumb. It's fucking makes no sense at all. You know what I mean? Imagine if I went up to Joshua and hit him and said to him, you can't hit me back because you're heavier than me. It's fucking dumb, innit? So I don't know. I don't think just because men are taller than women, that if a woman hits them, they shouldn't hit them back. Just fucking smack them up, man. They want equality, don't they? So just smack them up, man. Who wins, Prince Patel or Terence Crawford's fat wife? Probably his fat wife. Prince Patel, I don't know, he might be a boxer, but he's only 5 stone, so in the real world it don't really matter at all. You get smacked up by anyone who's above 10 stone, you get smacked up. Whether they're a fucking man, a woman, whoever. So I'd hate to be like a 5 stone man. I hope Fitzgerald beats Fowler again. Yeah, so do I. That Fitzgerald, he's got like a little interesting past. I want to know what happened, man. You know, when he went off the scene for 18 months. I want to know exactly what happened. I want to know what happened, man. What drugs were you taking? You know, what women were you fucking? You know, because he must have been like a celebrity, that Scott Fitzgerald. You know, in his little area, Preston. Because who's like from Preston who's like really known? Who do we know from Preston who's done anything? Who's like a big time name? We don't know anybody, do we? So him being on Sky Sports and fucking up Fowler and Ted Cheeseman, he must have been up there. So he was probably getting a load of sexual attention, you know, and people trying to buy him coke and all that. We want to know what happened. So Coogan, like, delving into that, I don't think people should slag him off. You think Cesaro Parker was worthy of pay-per-view? No, definitely not. I like the women's fight, you know, that Katie Taylor, I like her, she's classy, isn't she? She's nice, she don't crave attention like that Shannon Conti. She's desperate to be famous, isn't she, Conti? But then when she loses, she goes off the scene and tells Coogan to fuck off, and when she does do an interview, she tells him to turn off the comments. So I don't like her at all, she's annoying, but I like that Katie Taylor, that was a good fight. Katie Taylor and Natasha Jonas. It's quite a good fight. Have you read Johnny Nelson's book and Carl Froch's? Yeah. I've read Johnny Nelson's book. I had a little skim through Carl Froch's book. You know, Carl Froch. In fact, no, I don't want to talk about his sex life. I was going to say he was with this ugly woman, you know, before he became a millionaire. Now he's a millionaire, he's got with that nice woman, but so what? We all use each other, don't we? So he might... Yeah, shout out to Lorraine B. I don't know what that B stands for, you know. It better not be Booth. That's the woman who bought me this fucking whiskey. I don't know why you're calling yourself Lorraine B. Your surname doesn't start with a B, but mine does, so... Like, I don't want to sound horrible to you. You're a nice woman, but don't try and act like you're my wife. Calling yourself Lorraine B for Booth. Like, you're not, your surname's not Booth, is it? It's fucking... She's a nice woman, I'm not going to slag her off, so... Why can't you get back into boxing? He was well good. It's too much. It's too much. It's way too much. It's like... The training, the dieting, the fucking... Like I said before, the money that I've made from YouTube, yeah, I've invested it like in crypto, and I made about $3,000 in about a month. So my first fight I got £600. My second fight I got £800. So that's 1,600. Is that right? My first fight I got 600. My second fight I got 800. So that's 1,400, isn't it? My third fight I got $1,000. So I got 2,400. So my first 3 fights, I've been paid more from fucking investing in our crypto than I did fucking fighting, getting punched. And all I've done with crypto is buy, go to bed, have a wank, wake up, you know, and it just increases so much in value, like overnight. It's just easy money, innit? You know, doing these lives, I've been sat here now. I did a live before this for about an hour and a half, and I probably made about 300 quid. Shout out to the people who donated, by the way. So it's easy, innit? You know what I mean? So why would I go back to getting punched? You see what I mean? Shout out to Joseph for the £10. Shout out from Germany. Who wins? Conor Benn versus Kell Brook. I don't know, I've seen Kell Brook in a few videos. He looks quite heavy. He looks quite big. He looks like he's not really on it, you know what I mean? And Kell Brook, he might have been a world champion. You know, he beat Sean Porter, didn't he? But that don't really mean he's going to beat Conor Benn. I fucked up Marcus Morrison. But you know, if I boxed him like right now, I'd run out of steam after about 2 minutes, you know, of the first round. And I'd probably get beat. Because it's all about timing, innit? Obviously, I've had like a load of alcohol. So if I box Marcus Morrison now, even though I fucked him up a few years ago, if I boxed him right now, I'll probably get stopped. So it's all about timing, innit? So I don't know if Kell Brook's on it. I don't know if he's training hard. He looked quite big, you know, in his video that I've seen of him. So I don't know if he'd beat him. Take him to the ground like Khabib. Yeah, that's so interesting, isn't it? Tyson Fury's calling out that Francis Ngannou, you know, the world heavyweight UFC champion. That means that Francis Ngannou is the best fighter in the world, pretty much. You know, Bruce Lee. You know, if you could see behind you, there's a load of DVDs, you know, in my cabinet. And a lot of them are like Bruce Lee films. Enter the Dragon, Game of Death, Fist of Fury, Way of the Dragon Ball. It's a film, innit? I could beat Mayweather in a film. I could beat that Francis Ngannou in a film. It's a film, innit? So I don't really know how good Bruce Lee was. You know, I think he gets more credit than he deserves, Bruce Lee. But he'd get fucked up by Francis Ngannou. He's like the real deal, innit? Francis Ngannou will get smacked up by John Jones. Well, that's it. That is it. That's what we need to see, don't we? You know, to find out who the best fighter in the world is. Must be so good being the fucking best fighter in the world. I used to boss a knot to the Bruce Lee movies. He loved his women, Bruce Lee did. That's a good point. There's a Bruce Lee film called Game of Death. And there's a woman in that film who like tried to seduce Bruce Lee because she was working for Bruce Lee's enemy. She was like a spy, a little snidey little fucking whatever, and she tried to seduce Bruce Lee, and she was naked in the film, and she had a hairy cunt, she had a hairy pussy, and it was like probably the first pussy that I seen, you know, as a kid, because I got into Bruce Lee's films when I was about 11 years old. I was into Bruce Lee when I was about 11. Then when I was about 15, I got into Nassim Hamed. You know, and I really got into boxing. So yeah, Bruce Lee. Do you think Oscar De La Hoya was coked out of his mind in the Thriller card? P.S. Love your videos. Yeah, shout out to Ketchup Squirts. Yeah, he was coked up, De La Hoya. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying to you. He's chasing that high of like beating who did he beat, De La Hoya? What was a big fight that he won? I don't know who he beat, like I don't know his big victories. I know he beat Vargas, like Fernando Vargas. I can't really remember anything else, but like you know me beating that fucking muppet Marcus Morrison. You know, that buzz was like fucking the biggest buzz that I've had. So this De La Hoya, he was like a 4-weight world champ, wasn't it? So he's chasing that buzz. You know, being a world champ. So he's trying to replace that buzz. And he's snorting coke. You know, a Triller. He's trying to get that buzz in it. He beat Julio Cesar Chavez, who was 89-0. So he's chasing that buzz in it. But I don't know, he's not going to get it, man. It's too quick. Hold on a sec. Please tell me about what the blowjob signals story is all about and where it come from. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? What story are you talking about? I don't know what story you're talking about. You mean her giving blowjob signals? Sex sells, so she's trying to get followers. She's trying to get attention, so she's giving off blowjob signals. Do you live with your mom? Nah, my mom kicked me out when I was about 17. Because like when I was 17, I was so obsessed with Nassim Hamid. My mom, she said to me, you need to get a job. You've left school now, you're 17, you need to get a job. But I was like, nah, fuck getting a job. I'm not getting a job. I'm going to become a world champion boxer like Nassim Hamid. But obviously it didn't work out, did it? But that's what I used to say to my mom, innit? I'm not going to fucking get a job. Because I'm going to become a big boxing success like Nassim Hamid, my idol. So my mom said, alright, fucking get out. Just fuck off, man. Just fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Just fuck off. I'm living in the real world, man. I got bills to pay. So if you're not going to get a job, just fuck off, man. And she kicked me out. So, yeah. No, I don't live with my mom. Billy Joe Saunders called you Tyanbooth. Yeah, I know he did. Yeah, he did, didn't he? But he's getting that fucking Canelo payday, innit? So why does he need to remember my name? You don't fucking need to remember my name, does he? He's getting that Canelo payday, so who gives a fuck what my name is? Forget it. If I was getting that Canelo payday, I'd forget a lot of names. Krugans, Hor Phelpses, fucking... I'd fuck them all off. I think if I was... How much is he getting, Billy Joe Saunders, for fighting Canelo? How much do you think he's getting? I don't know. It's hard to know, innit? You can look at Coogan's finances on this website called Company House. Same with Eddie Earn, Matchroom. You can look at their finances, but I think because Billy Joe Saunders isn't a registered company, you can't really see his finances, but I'd like to know. But he's getting money in it, so he don't fucking need to remember my name at all. Are you related to Adam Booth? Nah. How comes Adam Booth wasn't in that Shannon Contney's corner? You know when she boxed that fucking Ebony Bridges? He wasn't in the corner, was he? Adam Booth. I think he turned his back on her. I think he don't like her as well. I think he fucking hates her as well, don't he? Because he wasn't in the corner, was he? He sent some fucking, some Muslim guy with a beard and that. Amir Khan outbox Canelo for 6 rounds. Why can't Billy Joe do it for 12? Good question, that. The Skype wanker outbox Canelo for 6 rounds. But maybe Canelo thought, you know, the Skype wanker, he can't take a punch. He's got a little poppadom chin. So I'm just going to walk forward. And when I land, he's going to fuck up. And he did, didn't he? The Skype wanker, he got knocked out. So maybe Canelo had that thought in mind. But he might not think that with Billy Joe Saunders, because Billy Joe Saunders can move. You know, he's a slick southpaw. You know, like that Lara. So maybe Canelo's thinking that I can't just walk forward with Billy Joe like he could with the Skype wanker, because he probably thought as soon as I land on the Skype wanker, he's going to go down, isn't he, with his little poppadom chin. O'Hara Davis said you work in a pub. Yeah, that's what he was trying to say, wasn't it? I don't work in a pub, you know what I mean? I used to work in a club doing security. But since I started doing the videos and the videos started to take off, you know, my old channel, Thai Boxing TV, it was quite sexual. I used to always talk about like women in boxing and, you know, and I really sexualize them. But you know, this channel that I've got now, you know, YouTube shut me down, didn't it? So you know, this channel now, Thai FL TV, you know, I've kept it a bit non-sexual, you know, and the money's a lot better. It's really good money. You know what I mean? And I take the money from these videos and I invest it in a cryptocurrency. And I made about 3 grand in about 4 weeks. You know, my first month of trading. So it's good money. So I don't need to work in the clubs anymore. So, you know, the black quitter talking about I work in a fucking pub. I don't work in a fucking pub. Do you still deliver pizzas? Yeah, I do, twice a week. But that's like my choice. That's not because I need to do it. You know, when it was like the second lockdown and we was like stuck in, I thought, I went to like a local takeaway, you know, for some food, and I seen like a sign, you know, in the window saying delivery drivers wanted. So I thought, you know, instead of just sitting in all day during the lockdown, why don't you just drive around, you know, and deliver pizzas to nice women? So that's what I do, like twice a week, but it's not about the money. Are you bitter because Coogan makes more money than you? But you don't know how much money I make, though. This is what I'm saying to you. Like, how do you know what I make? Like, how many subscribers have I got on Patreon? How many hundreds and hundreds of people subscribe to my Patreon? How much merch have I sold? Shout out to the people who bought merch. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's going quite well. What crypto coins do you have? I've got Ether, which is a crypto coin. When I bought it, it was about £1,700. I bought 4 of them. So they were like £1,700. You know, now they're about £2,600. So they've gone up by about, they were £1,700. Now so they've gone up by £900 in about 4 weeks. But you have to pay a bit of tax on it, but it's a lot of money, man. It's a lot of fucking money. Stop asking him about crypto, for fuck's sake. It's boring. Yeah, it's boring. It is boring. But you know, when you get that money, it's fucking interesting. I don't like reading about it, because you have to like research coins, innit? You have to like research like different coins and see which financial institutions are backing these crypto coins, you know, like Visa or PayPal. You have to read all these fucking articles about, which big financial institutions like Visa and PayPal are backing these coins. Because if like, just say if like YouTube were taking payments, you know, like I made like 400 quid today, yeah. You know, if YouTube were accepting crypto coins for payment, then obviously that crypto would go up on it in value because a big company like YouTube are using them and accepting them. So it would go up in value, innit? But yeah, it's not interesting, but when you get paid, it is interesting, innit? It's fucking interesting, man. Shout out to TFM Boxing for the New Zealand $5. I don't know how much that is. Jim McDonald told me to invest in Luna coin. Have you heard of it? Yeah, I've heard of it. But I ain't invested in it at all. Not yet. I ain't really looked into it and seen what the coin's about and see what. I ain't looked into it, basically. Like, you know, DAZN, you know, Eddie Earn, he's fucking signing with DAZN, isn't he? You know, he's leaving that fucking Adam Smith and all those Sky Sports fuckers. Anna Wallace and Matthew Macklin. Eddie Earn's leaving a minute to go to DAZN. But you know, when DAZN first came out, people was like, what the fuck is this shit? They were calling it D-Zone and DA Zone. You know, and all this. They didn't know what the fuck it was about. They were calling it like DA Zone. Day Zone. The Zone, innit? But obviously the Zone's quite big now, innit? So just because you haven't heard of like cryptocurrency, you don't mean it's not big. You know Billy Joe Saunders? I was walking around a shopping centre with him one time. And like nobody like looked at him and said, oh, that's Billy Joe Saunders. Oh, wow. Wow. Congratulations on beating Eubank and Andy Lee. You know, no one knew him. But just because people don't know him, like the general public, he's still going to be a fucking multi-millionaire this weekend coming. You know, he's still a 2-weight world champ, unbeaten millionaire. So just because you don't know about fucking Billy Joe Saunders, you don't mean he's not a big deal. Same with like crypto. People don't really know about it, but it's a big deal. Do any of the customers you deliver pizzas to recognize you and talk to you? Yeah, that's quite a good question, you know. One time I delivered a pizza to this black guy and he answered the door and he was like, are you Tyanbooth from TFL TV? And like I tried to deny it, you know, at first, because it's just a bit awkward, isn't it? It's just a bit like, yeah, I can't be bothered with it. So I try and deny it at first, innit? But then they like recognize my voice. So he's like, it's you, innit? It is you, it's you. Me and my girlfriend watch your videos. Do you mind if I call my girlfriend and tell her that you're here? And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, alright, yeah. And he like shouted his girlfriend who was like upstairs in his house. And she like came down and like they were both like looking at me, like staring at me. She was quite nice as well, a nice little woman. And like I was talking to him like, yeah, it's me, yeah, I'm just delivering pizzas twice a week. Do you know what I mean? Just delivering pizzas and that, yeah, it's me. I'm gonna put up a video tomorrow. And they were like looking at me like. And then the woman says, so you actually talk like that in real life, yeah? I thought you was talking like that in your videos for entertainment. I didn't know that you really spoke like that in real life. And I said, yeah, I do. It's fucking me. It's all me, man. It's all me. And they were like staring at me like I'm a fucking freak. It was a bit awkward, man. So normally I'm like low key, innit? But yeah, shout out to those two fucking... When are you going to Miguel's gym? Probably next week. I used to go to London every 2 weeks, you know, when before the lockdown. I used to go every 2 weeks and stay in a hostel, you know, in a bunk bed with women, you know, where there's like men and women in a bunk bed. There's about 10 bunk beds, and like this, it's full of men and women who don't know each other, and it's so interesting. I remember when I was in a bunk bed and it was late, like everyone was asleep and the room was like really dark, and this woman came into the room. I think she'd been on a night out, you know, in London partying, and she came in, yeah, and like her bunk bed was opposite me, and I was like looking at her, and she had her clothes on in it, and I started getting excited, and she started like taking her clothes off, but like the room was like really dark. So I got my phone, you know, the torch, and I started like shining it, like just like shining it, like I was basically trying to see her pussy in it, but it was too dark, I couldn't really see anything, and I think she had her pajamas on. So yeah, but it's worth a try, wasn't it? So I'm going to go back there next week, you know, and stay in a bunk bed and look at some nice women and train in Miguel's gym, you know, in Brixton, South London, you know what I mean? Was Brendan Ingle intimidating? No, not at all. He was really good to talk to. He spoke to me more than my own dad. You know what I mean? He gave me like life lessons, you know, sexual lessons, you know, talking to me about women. My dad never spoke to me about women. And like dads should speak to their kids about women, because like, you know, if you've got a son and he's about 15 and you don't talk to him about sex, and he goes out and gets all these women pregnant and he has to pay out a load of child support, and he gets fucking AIDS like Eazy-E and Tommy Morrison. You know what I mean? You don't want that for your kid, do you? So you have to talk to him about sex. So that's what Brendan did with us. You know what I mean? And I appreciate it. So he's not intimidating at all. You know what I mean? You know, Dominic Ingle telling, what's that guy called? That Liverpool guy. I forgot his name. Man. Yeah, don't matter. My dad never taught me to wank like Brendan did. Yeah, wank, just wank. He's, you know what I mean? Fucking a real woman is like the real, it's like, it's nice, it's better than wanking in it, but, you know, when those child support payments come, it's a lot to pay out, isn't it? What's that fucking guy called? Robbie Davis Jr., that's it. Dominic was telling him to stay southpaw. You know what I mean? And he looked a bit uncomfortable. I don't know what that was about. And I think that Robbie Davis was like whispering in Dominic's ear, like saying, "Oh, I can't do it." I don't know. Maybe Dominic watched a video of Robbie Davis Jr.'s opponent and seen that he really struggled with southpaws. So Dominic said, "Stay southpaw," you know, to try and give him the edge. What do you think of Chris Eubank Jr.'s tattooed hairline? Looks like some serious baby thing. Yeah, that's what they do, don't they, these guys? They get their hairline tattooed. Same with Conor Benn, you know, with the beard. He's had like a beard transplant, and I don't know, this kind of... Men are becoming a bit fascinated with their looks, aren't they? They're becoming a bit too fucking... What do you think about Billy Joe Saunders' dad's comments about the ring being 2 foot short? I haven't really watched the interview, you know. It popped up on my YouTube suggestions, but I ain't seen it yet. But like I said in my last video, like, I don't know, like parents of boxers get too emotionally involved, don't they? Like Joshua's dad. You remember when he was going to fuck up Eddie Hearn when Joshua got fucked up by Ruiz in their first fight? Joshua's dad was going to fuck up Eddie Hearn, wasn't he? And it was quite interesting, wasn't it? I wanted to see him hit Eddie Hearn. But Joshua like intervened and said, it's not his fault, it's not Eddie's fault, it's my fault. You know what I mean? So parents get emotionally involved. So Billy Joe Saunders' dad saying the ring's 2 foot short. I don't know. What's the last woman you've been with? Any funny stories? You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, like, it's kind of hard, isn't it, to talk about women and that. It's fucking hard, man. It's fucking hard, isn't it? Because, like, you know, if I talk about other women, like, you know, women who fucking buy me, like, bottles of fucking Conor McGregor proper 12 whiskey. It's a bit fucked up, innit? It's a bit fucked up, man. Are you a virgin, bro? Nah, I'm not a virgin. I remember when I lost my virginity to this woman, I was so nervous. I was on my mum's settee. My mum was at work. I was on my mum's settee and there was this fucking woman who was like from my area. She was about 17, I was about 17. I was like on the settee with her, you know, about to break my virginity. And I was like taking my fucking jeans off and I was trying to undo the button and I was like shaking like that, you know, trying to undo the zip. I was so fucking nervous. I was like that, I was fucking nervous like a little bitch, like a little fucking hoe. I was trying to undo my zip like that, you know, to fucking fuck the woman, but I was like shaking like a little bitch. I was only 17, innit, but I didn't enjoy it, and then I started fingering her, and I was like, this is fucking disgusting. Didn't enjoy it at all. How much does it cost for a top brass in Sheffield? It depends. If you're talking about the streets, if you're picking them up on the streets, those dirty heroin addicts, they're gonna take less, aren't they, than if they're in a nice brothel and they've got showers and beds, you know, and there's a bar, you know what I mean, these nice fancy facilities. So it depends, innit? You talk about a brass, it depends. Like obviously a street hawker is probably going to be about a tenner, but the women in the brothels, they're probably about 40 quid. Do you get the women on Meet Me? That's a dating app, innit? Nah, that's what I mean. Them dating apps, they're no good, man. They're no good. You've got women on there hiding behind their filtered pictures. You know, taking fancy photos from fancy angles like fucking Andy Ruiz. You know, trying to hide his fat. That's what some women do. They try and take photos from fancy angles you know, using filters. So they're probably not going to meet up with you because they know they don't look like their pictures. You know, like Andy Ruiz. So you're better off not going on dating apps to try and meet women. Just go out. Like, lockdown's pretty much over now, isn't it? So just fucking go out, man. Just get drunk and just go out. Even if you haven't got any mates, like, just get a bottle, drink, go out and just mingle. Because when people are drunk, people talk to each other, even if they don't know each other. So just fucking go out, innit, and just get drunk and just start talking to women, just random women who are drunk, pissing in alleyways. That's another thing. I used to work in a club and I used to see women pissing in alleyways like all the time. So if you walk into that alleyway and say, oh, I need a piss, and you get your dick out, you know, it probably might lead to sex. They're drunk, aren't they, these fucking women? They're not really bothered. They haven't got any morals when they're drunk. They don't give a fuck. Are you trying to get arrested? What for? You mean pissing in alleyways? That's a good point, you know. That is a fucking good point. I had a piss the other day in an alleyway in Nottingham. And these two women like walked past and they like looked at me and they started laughing. You know what I mean? And they carried on walking, and I thought, you know what? You know those two women there? They could fucking go to the police and tell the police that I indecently exposed myself to them. And I'd get arrested, you know what I mean? I'd get fucking arrested for that. I've got a cousin who got about 5 years in prison because he kept flashing at women. He kept exposing himself, you know, to women, and he got about 5 years because he kept doing it. So it's illegal. So you know that guy saying, are you worried about being arrested? That's a good question. But you know, if I walked past that alleyway and there were like two women pissing in that alleyway, and then I went to the police and I said, two women have just shown me their pussies in an alleyway. They've indecently exposed themselves to me. Can you arrest them? The police aren't going to do that, are they? They're not going to be bothered. It's sexist, isn't it? It's fucking sexist, you know what I mean? So some women complain about sexism, but sometimes it works in their favour. They can piss in alleyways and not get arrested for it. But you know, if I did it, or other men, it could be classed as indecent exposure, you know, like my fucking cousin who got 5 years, 6 years in prison. Do you like women to shit on your chest like True Geordie? Nah, I'm not into that. I'm not into that. Not into that at all. I used to watch shit porn. But I've kind of gone off it now. It's not really... It's not really my preference now, you know, women shitting. I used to watch it though for a period of about a month. I used to watch women shitting. But I've kind of gone off it. Would you complain about seeing some gash though? No, that's what I mean, I wouldn't. But what if I was gay and I wasn't into pussy like that? And I went to the police and said, oh, two women have just shown me their pussies in an alleyway. Can you arrest them? They're not going to do anything, are they, the police? That's what I mean. It's one of them, innit? It's fucking... Is Dominic Ingle philosophical, like how Brendan Ingle seemed to be? There's only one Brendan, to be honest with you. There's only one Brendan, you know what I mean? Dominic, you know, he's doing his thing, but like I say, man, there's only one Brendan, just like there's only one Nas. You know what I mean? You can't fucking compare people to other people, because there's only one like Brendan. It's like Costamato, you know him. He was like really fucking. He was more than a trainer to Tyson, Mike Tyson. He wasn't just a pad man, was he? I don't even think he took pads. He was like a psychologist. Mike Tyson said on his podcast that Costamato used to like brainwash him, you know, and tell him that he's the best ever heavyweight. Ever, you know, and that Costamato, he was like a psychologist. So there's only like those guys like Costamato and Brendan Ingle. Those guys are rare. All these other guys who are holding pads, a lot of them are clowns. And I'm not talking about Dominic, I'm just saying in general, like Roy Jones. Yeah, he might have been a good boxer, but he's not necessarily a good trainer, is he? Like I said, I know how to drive cars, but I can't fix them up. I can't build cars. So Roy Jones, you can't build fighters, man. Eubank didn't look that special, did he? He didn't look anything special, like from what we've seen in the past. So I don't think Roy Jones is all that. As a trainer. I need to slow these questions down. I've seen so many good questions. Someone said something about Dave Caldwell, Penfold, about him being a shit trainer and just telling Bello to keep his hands up. Yeah, I know. I didn't really see the question, but boxer size Ben Davison is a modern day Costamato. Boxer size fucking Ben Davison. I don't know if he's a good trainer. He trained Billy Joe and Tyson Fury, but they were already unbeaten world champions, weren't they? Before he started training them. So can you really give him a lot of credit for fucking holding pads for them? You can't, can you? Like Brendan trained fighters from nothing, like from little kids. Nassim was about 7 when he went to Brendan's gym. Kel was about 9. Johnny Nelson was about 15. So do something like that and then we'll start praising you, innit? What do you think about your cousin Jermaine Penn going on Jeremy Kyle that time? Yeah, I watched it. I don't know, what do you mean, what do I think, like what? That's what these guys are about, aren't they? Reality TV, you know, Heavy D going on that fucking Big Brother and Storage Hunters. You know, Heavy D, it's like he was searching for that fame on it. He was like looking for that moment, you know, to go viral on Twitter. He was desperate, wasn't he? Heavy D, he wanted that fame. He wanted to go viral desperately. You know, and he was chasing after fucking followers, you know what I mean? Fucking, I don't want to slag him off because he's dead, innit? So it's a bit out of order, innit? But I don't know, you know when you're just chasing after fucking followers on Twitter and Instagram and you're trying to go viral. It's kind of desperate, innit? You know Coogan, me and him used to be little fake mates and we used to talk on the phone. And Coogan said he was a bit suicidal. But you know now he's got this little kid. You know, he's changing her nappies every minute, innit? Even though she doesn't need them changing, he's fucking changing her nappies. You know, for sexual reasons. So that's giving him a purpose. So he's probably not suicidal anymore, is he, Coogan? And that's what Heavy D needed, didn't he? He needed that fucking purpose like Coogan's got, you know, changing his daughter's nappies. Heavy D needed a kid, man. You know, to change their nappies. because he was just chasing like followers and trying to go viral, but I don't know, he just kind of came across as a bit fucking pathetic, man. You know, when he was trying to like create beef with me. You know, when he was slagging me off with the Black Quitter. And Baby Ting was there, wasn't he? And shout out to Baby Ting. Baby Ting said to Heavy D and the Black Quitter, you know, why didn't you say this to his face? Talking about me. Why didn't you fucking slag him off? You know, to his face, instead of acting all nicey. And then you're dissing him now he's not here. That's what Baby Ting said, didn't it? So shout out to Baby Ting. I'm gonna go and see him, you know, in Brixton next week. South London. Yeah, I like him. Lamar Scott. Yo, hurry the fuck up, man. Yeah, let me fucking answer a few more questions and then wrap this up. Did you go to Heavy D's funeral? No, I didn't go. That's what I mean. The people who were paying tribute to him, they didn't go. They didn't give a fuck. They were paying attention to whatever else was trending on Instagram or Twitter. They don't give a fuck about his funeral, man. Well, I'm gonna wrap this shit up, you know. I've done 2 lives tonight. I've like separated them, you know what I mean? Like, so I can get 2 different videos up. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this shit up. Let me just read a few more questions. I missed that question. No weed. No, I had a little drive round, you know, for some weed. I can't really find any, so I just thought, fuck it, I'll just stick to the alcohol today, but we'll go again. A couple of days, we'll go again. What video did Coogan talk about changing his daughter's nappies? One of his interviews with Cesaro. He started talking about changing his daughter's nappies, and he remembers how many times he's done it, and he started getting really excited. So let's have a look. Someone keeps asking me, will you get the COVID vaccine? I don't know, because I've had COVID before. I had the virus and I felt shit for 2 days. I felt really bad, really fucked up. But then I got over it, you know what I mean? Like, so what's the point if I got over it? If my body's like good enough to get over it, why do I need to take the vaccine? You know, I think people say it's for old people, innit? Because they're like vulnerable, but they've already lived their life, haven't they? They've lived their life, you know what I mean? They fucking lived their life. They've had their time, you know, as youngsters. They've lived their life, they've partied, they've had sex, they've drank, they've fucking took drugs. So, you know, unfortunately, we all have to die, don't we? So, Time, what do you think of Darren Sutherland? You know, if he would have went with Brendan Ingle, how far do you think he would have gone? That's the guy who killed himself, didn't he? He fucking committed suicide, didn't he? That's what I mean, man. Suicide, you know what I mean? It's a bit fucked up, innit? It's what I don't like, you know? People tell me to smile. Like, obviously, I look a bit fucked up. I look a bit miserable, but when I used to work in a club, you know, looking like this, people used to just come up to me and say to me, smile. And it used to fucking piss me off. It used to really fucking irritate me. Because it's like, just say if someone's like suicidal, like that Darren Sutherland, and they're really depressed, and he's got fucking people going up to him saying, smile. Do you know what I mean? And then he starts smiling. You know, then he's like hiding his depression in it. But you know, if he was like, you know, if he looked like me, and he was like, he might have got the help that he needed, you know what I mean? He might have got that fucking support. But he might have put on a fake smile, you know, to please these little fucking annoying bastards who tell me to smile and just... It's fake, innit? It's like women, you know, who have fake orgasms. I don't see the point because, like, you know, say if I'm fucking a woman and she has a fake orgasm, I'm going to think, oh, she's satisfied now. Now I'm going to fucking come and then go to sleep. So then I have a nice little orgasm, go to sleep. And then the fucking woman's laying there all sexually frustrated. You know, because she fucking had a fake orgasm and fooled me. It was her fault, innit? She's laying there all sexually frustrated. That's your fucking problem for being fake, innit? So all this fake orgasm, all this fake smiling shit, I'm not into it at all. I don't like fake, you know, Anthony Joshua laughing at Graham Norton shit jokes. You know what I mean? Pretending to find him funny. Joshua's secured the bag about 10 times. Joshua's got about 10 bags secured. You know, and he's still laughing at bullshit Graham Norton. What are you doing, man? What the fuck are you doing? Less talk, more action. It was so nice I had to do it twice. Come on, man. Joshua's trying to laugh with Graham Norton, you know, pretending that he didn't used to sell drugs. Fake. AJ was on the Jonathan Ross show the other day, acting all fake and staying humble, yeah. I didn't see that, you know. I might check it out after this. I might check it out. Do you know what I mean, though? How much money has he got? Come on, man. Surely you don't need to just... You know, once you've got like a certain amount of money, you can just be yourself and just say, oh, fuck off, Under Armour. Just fuck off, fucking Jonathan Ross, Graham Norton. I don't fucking need to laugh at your shit jokes to be accepted. I've got the money, I've secured the bag. You know what I mean? So it's like... Yeah, but all celebs have to sell out. You see them pushing their Corona agenda. They have to sell out. They sign up with the Illuminati and have to bow down and... Yeah. What pizza place do you work for? I can't really say, you know. I don't know, like I said, when I was driving around delivering pizzas, like 2 cars were following me. And like one of them, like, one of the cars, he like put down the window and he said, "Oi, Tyan, pull up. Pull up now, pull up." And I was looking at him thinking, who the fuck is that? And he said, pull up, pull up. So I like pulled up, you know, just to see what was going on. And I pulled up, yeah. And I was looking in my rear view mirror, like waiting for him to come up to my car and like say what the problem is. And they didn't. So like I drove off And they started following me for about 25 minutes. You know what I mean? Fucking idiots, man. And like one of them like pulled up in front of me when I was driving. One of them like overtook me and like pulled up in front of me, and they like slowed down, you know, like trapping me. So there was a car in front of me and a car behind me, and I was in the middle. And I stopped in it, you know, like waiting for him to like come out of the car and like say something to me, and they didn't. So I fucking got out of my car and I started walking up to the first car, and he like drove off. And I just thought, these guys are a couple of clowns, man. And then the police came and they seen like it was acting all dodgy. And then both of the cars like drove off, you know what I mean? So that's what I mean. I don't want people knowing where I work, because I don't want people just acting like that. These fucking idiots following me around and then driving off when I fucking get out of the car and like confront them. Fucking telling me to pull up. So I mean, man, I ain't got time for this shit, man. This was about 2 weeks ago. I thought it was some of Daniel Kinahan's hitmen. You know him? He's like big time, innit? Daniel Kinahan. He's like the real deal. He's fucking hardcore, innit? So I want to become mates with him. He's giving Coogan that money, innit? Shall I wrap this up? Coogan's gonna suffocate you with one of his pissy nappies. Be safe. Yes. Coogan's with a Playboy model, you know. People keep sending me pictures of her pussy, man, like her naked and that. Coogan's baby mama. I don't think I could get with a woman like that. I don't know. I don't think I could do it. I won't have respect for her. You know, if she was like a doctor or a fucking solicitor, I'd respect her in it. But just getting a pussy out in magazines, I won't be able to do it. I won't be able to look her in the eye and show her that respect. I'd fucking lose respect for her. I'm gonna wrap this up. Do you think Coogan wants you dead? If I die like Heavy D, I think he'd probably like it, because he keeps begging me to stop talking about him and his sex life, because it's upsetting his baby mama. So yeah, he probably does, don't he? But how many people are watching? 481. It was on about 2,000 before, so people are losing interest. So I'm gonna wrap this shit up. But yeah, thanks for tuning in again here. Thanks for that.